Well, Harry Kewell could hold the key to Leeds' hopes of victory tonight. He's had a marvellous season, particularly when it comes to scoring goals, and he's done particularly well in that respect in this competition. In normal circumstances, Galatasaray would be confident of protecting their 2-0 lead because they do have an excellent away record in Europe this season. However, as we all know, these are far from normal circumstances, and the Turkish team are bound to be nervous and apprehensive tonight. They have mature internationals like Popescu and Hadji in their ranks, but even they won't have experienced anything quite like the atmosphere tonight, Trevor.
Now Leeds United tonight playing with a normal 4-4-2 formation. You mentioned Kelly misses the game, but they've got a natural replacement in Danny Mills, and he's a natural attacking player. He'll look to get forward down the right-hand side. Lee Boyer playing slightly narrower on the right-hand side. I'm pleased that Jason Wilcox comes into the team. I thought he made a big impression when he came on during the second half in Turkey. Now we move on to the Galatasaray side, and it's identical to what won 2-0 over in Turkey. It's a very experienced side and also a very cosmopolitan side. 2 Brazilians in Capone and Tafarel, 2 Romanians in Hadji and Popescu, and the rest of the side are made up of Turkish players. As I said, experience. The strength of the side is the spine of the side. 2 exciting front players in Arif and Hakan Suker. Hadji pulling the strings in the centre of midfield, and Popescu at the heart of the back 3, along with Tafarel, a very experienced goalkeeper.
Well, so far it's been a pretty awful week for English clubs in Europe, but nothing, of course, compares with the real tragedy in the minds of everyone here at Ellen Road tonight. Well, a moving tribute to the memory of Christopher Loftus and Kevin Spate. But in the words of the Leeds chairman, Peter Ridsdale, Leeds United and their supporters now need to get back to normal. The rest of the night must be all about football. And it's Galatasaray with their 2-0 first leg advantage who will get this tie underway. Their 16th tie in Europe this season. They started in the Champions League qualifiers way back in August, came through that, finished 3rd in the Champions League group behind Chelsea, AC Milan. Hertha Berlin were in the group as well, and have now come through 3 rounds of the UEFA Cup. They've lost only 3 of their 15 European ties so far, and 2 of those were against Chelsea. Galatasaray played with 3 at the back in the first leg, and already it looks as though they have a problem. Did you see what happened there, Trevor?
No, I didn't see it, Alan. It's the number 8 who's gone down, Suat. I don't quite know what he's complaining about.
So Galatasaray defending the goal where their supporters might have been gathered. 1,600 fans who bought tickets were, of course, forbidden to come, and I think everyone in football regards that as the right decision. And an early clash there between Boya and the little midfield player Emre, who's only 19. Radabi with the first clearance there, under pressure from Hakan Suker. Nigel Martin looking for either Kewell or Bridges ahead of him. Boya goes down under the challenge, and the clearance by Ergun. A chance straight away here for Kewell. Had to pull it back. An early goal, of course, really would change the picture dramatically here. Hard shot, finding its way through the crowd. Lovely little flick then by Kewell. Boya couldn't get it his cross. This is Hadji, one of the most experienced players out on the field tonight. The Romanian international, 35 now, over 100 international caps. Kewell goes down, but the officials have given a goal kick. pressure. Mills coming into the starting lineup tonight and delivering a great ball. Just a little too strong for Bridges.
It's the type of start Alan that Leeds would have wanted, straight away on the ascendancy. They do feel that after the first game, when they created chances, they can score tonight. What I mentioned prior to the game is vitally important. They stay disciplined, they give nothing away at the back.
Backer. Hart. Breaks loose to Hakan Suker. Hadji. Now little Okan on the right-hand side, and that's a good ball. Wow, Leeds United's problems could have been far greater than even they had imagined then. That was a real opportunity for Arif.
Well, it all comes about through Ian Hart overindulging on the ball and loses possession. That's a brilliant ball. And really, Arif should have done better. Martin comes out quickly, forces him to play it over the bar.
Well, Leeds United almost forcing Galatasaray into trouble as well then. Hadji dispossessed, but the referee saw the challenge by Boya as a foul. And a chance for Hakan Suker. Good covering there by Woodgate. But not the best clearance. And Radaby's ball also fell into the path. And Hakan Suker's got another chance here. Goes down. And there has to be a penalty. And the referee could take further action still. An awful start. Just what Leeds United didn't want.
Once again, mistakes by the Leeds defence. It's cost them dearly. Hakan Suker, one-on-one with the keeper, looks to go around him. Quite clearly, he's brought down to the floor. It's only a yellow card, could have been worse, could easily have been a red card. But if this goes in, Leeds are really up against it.
And Hadji, the most experienced player on the field, with a vital kick and scores. The silence at Ellen Road is deafening. Even the players and coaching staff seem to make a muted celebration as the ball went in.
Well, it's sweetly taken by Hadji. Martin guesses the right way. And the great Romanian, greatest player in their history, makes no mistake. And that's not the start Leeds wanted. They had a couple of opportunities themselves, but their frailty in defence has cost them dearly.
3-0 on aggregate now, and also crucially, of course, Galatasaray have an away goal. The mathematics of the tie now hardly bear contemplating. Well, you can only feel for David O'Leary, his team and fans. A truly disastrous opening for them. Discipline, as happened then when Boya went in hard on Emre. Boulen's clearance, Hakan Suker getting in behind the last defender again. Who's greeting him from the fans behind the goal, but I don't think there was any question about the validity of the penalty, Trevor.
No, from the moment that Emre picked the ball up in midfield, there's nobody near him to close it down. He just looked up, right into the path of Hakan Suker. And I felt that it was such a good opportunity. I was surprised that Suker, an excellent finisher himself, should have scored. He let it go round the keeper, won his team a penalty, and Hadji doesn't miss those sort of opportunities.
And Leeds now find themselves needing 4 goals to sweep aside the Turkish team that, as we mentioned before the kick-off, has an excellent away record away from home, both in Europe and domestically this season. Football teaches you never to write off anyone's prospects at any stage, but the mountain couldn't be much higher. Bridges again. And little Okan in the right place to clear, and now with Leeds piling players forward, there seems to be a constant danger on the counter-attack. Hadji took it a step too far this time.
Well, that is the danger, Alan, isn't it? When you look at the side, they've got a sprinkling of world-class attacking players. I mentioned the front two, Suka and Arif. Hadji, despite his age, 35 years of age now, is still a wonderfully gifted player. My concern is that Leeds, trying to push forward, trying to get back in the game, will leave themselves wide open at the back. They've already done it once or twice, and every time Hadji picks it up, he seems to find himself that little bit of extra space.
Confirmation, incidentally, in the aftermath of the penalty incident, that Woodgate was yellow carded. So it seems that this extremely difficult and disappointing week so far for English clubs is staggering from bad to worse. Leeds United really need a miracle at this stage. Clearance by Giga Popescu. Lucas Radeby, who probably wouldn't have played had Gary Kelly been fit, but David O'Leary didn't want to lose two of his most experienced defenders. Kewell's downward header, picked up by McPhail. And now Bridges. Leeds really do need a goal back as quickly as possible here. Perhaps Kewell can provide it. It was a good effort, and Tafarel was in some discomfort trying to keep it out.
There's absolutely no doubt that every time Leeds go forward, they're looking to cause problems. They don't look convincing at all, the Turks, defensively. That was quite evident in the first game over in Galatasaray.
Leeds' first corner in the 10th minute. There's already a goal down on the night and 3 behind over the tie. Mills' header. Henry gets it clear. And once again, the speed of Galatasaray on the break is exposing Leeds. This is Okan. They've got two in the box as well. I don't think Nigel Martin was expecting the shot, and he certainly wasn't expecting the challenge that followed it. Good ball from McPhail. Kewell brought down. Bridges. How badly they need a goal from their leading scorer, or indeed anybody else. Galatasaray's 8th European tie away from home this season. They've won 4, drawn 1. And as I mentioned, they won in Berlin, in Borussia Dortmund, and also in Mallorca. It's a very impressive record. It's very hard to see them throwing away this advantage. I suppose if you're looking for a crumb of comfort, just about the only good thing from Leeds' point of view in conceding an early goal is that at least it leaves them with plenty of time to try and recover.
I think that Galatasaray, Alan, were very concerned with the contribution of Wilcox when he came on in that first game. Caused them plenty of trouble down that left-hand side, and because of that, it's forced Galatasaray to play with a back four tonight. They don't really want Okan to defend against Wilcox, so it's forced Capone, the Brazilian, to play more or less as a right back.
Good play, Bakker. Just one pass too many there, perhaps just over-elaborated Leeds. Almost 7 hours since Leeds United last scored a goal, and they've now failed to stop the opposition scoring in 8 successive matches. A season which has held so much promise for them for so long, beginning to crumble beneath their feet. And Radeby in trouble here against Arif. Still got his tackle in though. But Arif has got away from him from the throw.
Once again, quick thinking between Haji and Harif. Radabi caught sleeping, was very nearly punished.
I'll talk about a tactical dilemma for David O'Leary now. I mean, how on earth does he approach this, Trevor?
Well, his approach is going to be exactly as it was at the start, Alan. You know, the start of the game, he needed goals. He still needs goals now. The only difference is they've made themselves, losing that one goal, made it so difficult for themselves now. I think Leeds can score tonight. I felt that before the game. What I wasn't sure about whether they could keep a clean sheet, because history tells you that Galatasaray, away from home, normally score. And it only took them 5 minutes tonight to find the back of the net.
There's Woodgate. Straight to Hakan Suker. Fortunately for him, he managed to cut out the ball to Arif. Hadji. Suat in a little bit of trouble. Strong challenge by Wilcox to win it back. Now Hart. Bakker. Well, it was a shaker, that early penalty. And incidentally, this of course is not the only European tie going on tonight. Two available on Sky Digital. Lens versus Arsenal underway now. Coverage now on Sky Sports Extra.
What it's done, Alan, as you'd imagine, is absolutely stunned the supporters. They've come here to get behind the team. They were very vociferous prior to the kick-off. Were for the opening couple of minutes. They've gone absolutely silent. Leeds have got to score. They've got to score quickly to give hope to these supporters.
Here's Bakker. Chance for Wilcox to produce one of those crosses. It was a good one too. And he turned the corner.
Well, the last corner that Leeds took, they almost conceded at the other end. They left themselves rather bare. Galatasaray broke quickly. Ball from Jason Wilcox. Bakker attacks it. Nobody on the post. Taffarel totally beaten. In off the post. I said they needed to go quickly. They've got one.
Terrific header by the young Norwegian, who has made such a contribution to Leeds United's season. In the absence, of course, of the injured David Batty, he's played far more games than even he would have imagined possible. And he scored some valuable goals. None more so, I'd suggest, than that. Terrific header. Bowyer getting himself involved. The linesman also getting involved. And I think he'll want to have a word with the referee about that little flare-up. And the official calling the two involved together there, Emre and Bowyer. Lubos and Michel from Slovakia, tonight's referee. 9 players on the field on a disciplinary tightrope as well. Caution away from not being able to play in the final. And Woodgate's mistake has given possession to Hakan Suker again. Mills helps him out. Well, we knew there would be drama tonight. We didn't quite expect it to turn out like this in the opening quarter of an hour or so. Yeah, just looking at Jonathan Woodgate, Alan, he looks very, very nervy at the moment. Riddled with errors every time he receives it. He looks very uncomfortable. And Emre is certainly causing a few problems to Leeds here. Mills claiming he went in with his elbow then. Well, it's undoubtedly a late challenge. Can't quite see where the elbow came in, but Leeds just got to be careful, because Emre, on every occasion, is looking to fall to the floor, over-exaggerating, trying to get Leeds players in trouble.
They just have to be disciplined and be careful of him.
Yeah, he's certainly been the main troublemaker as far as Leeds are concerned so far. Oh, you can't get away from his man. So that's clearance. Woodgate. Bridges doing well, but then gives it away. Ergun's clearance. Backer. This is better. Leeds' confidence visibly lifted by Eric Backer's goal. Kuhl. Wilcox. Good cross. Oh, and it almost dropped to Bowyer. And it does to Kuhl. Unlucky.
Once again, good cross coming in for Jason Wilcox. I was going to say cool play from the number 67 Ergun, but it was poor play for a defender. He should be clearing his lines inside his own penalty box. He gifted an opportunity. The ball fell to Bridges, who quickly gave the ball to Kuhl. Snapshot on the volley with his left foot. Unfortunately for him, straight at Taffarel.
Here's Bridges. Kuhl ahead of him. So too is Bowyer. That was a very determined run, but Bülent read the danger. The Galatasaray skipper has committed a foul. He is one of 5 Leeds players, incidentally, knowing that a further caution would rule them out of the final, but that's a thought for the future. At the moment, they've got to try and turn around what is back to a 2-goal deficit in this semi-final. But remember, Galatasaray have that away goal. How important could that be in the final analysis? Here's the man who got it on the penalty spot. Ergun. And again. Bowyer just tugged at his shirt then as he tried to get away from him. Haji's free kick to Capone, who scored the second goal for Galatasaray in Istanbul.
Well, I think we expected, didn't we, Haji to play all over the place. We thought he'd play just in behind the front two, but at the moment, Alan, he hasn't moved from this left wing.
Bowyer. Ergun's clearance. Haji there to receive it. The layoff finds Hakan Suker. Arif.
What he's doing is he isn't showing much movement, Alan, but what he's also doing is he's preventing Danny Mills from playing his natural game. He likes to get forward down this right-hand side, but he can't do so. Haji's just stood around the halfway line. He's not going looking for the ball. It's up to his teammates to get it to his feet. And obviously when he gets it to his feet, he then becomes a player.
Himself. Wilcox down the left. Bridges in close support, and McPhail available again. Groan of disappointment from the crowd when he played it back to Radaby, but he kept possession. Mills unable to keep it in play, however. It's only the second match that he has started in the last 29. He spent most of the season on the substitute bench. Playing tonight because Gary Kelly is injured. There's his header, and Galatasaray have another throw. The decision goes in Leeds' favour. Since Chelsea beat Galatasaray 5-0 in Istanbul in the Champions League back in October, they have lost just one match in the 36 games since then. That was recently against their major rivals, Fenerbahce. An awesome record that Leeds have to try and dent tonight, having made the worst possible start, conceding an early penalty. They're back to 1-1, and hope springs eternal, not perhaps for Capone. referee has reached for a yellow card, and that looks like bad news for Ian Hart.
Yes, because it's an unnecessary foul, isn't it? There's not a lot of contact, it's a very slippery surface. Capone makes it look far worse than what it really was, but Ian Hart's got no need to get himself into the book.
And of course, the next European game in this competition is the final. A real body blow for Hart. There's Hadji. Good tackle, great skill though. Just couldn't quite lift it high enough over Nigel Martin. Wilcox did well, strong when he had to be. Now that's going to be a card, surely. Unbelievably, the referee has given, I presume, a throw-in to Galatasaray rather than a free kick to Leeds. That is inconsistency.
I think the referee's right, Alan. You'll see here that, well, I have to change my opinion. I thought that given a free kick to Galatasaray for diving against Wilcox, but if you see that, there was no attempt by Capone to play the ball. Clearly took Wilcox's legs. That should have been a free kick and should have been a yellow card.
Yeah, exactly my point. Well, Leeds have given it away sloppily again. Arif. Okan making danger, imminent again. Emre. Here's Ergun. Nigel Martin's got to get there. Calm play then by Boya. And that was some clearance from Hart. Popescu just used his experience though to nudge Kewell out of the way. Capone. Okan. Ralaby wins it back. This is better. Leeds have got a head of steam up here. Kewell. A wonderful play by Kewell. Well, there's a mood and a determination about Leeds United's play tonight that suggests that perhaps a miracle could still happen here. Boya, Mills.
No, that was the wrong option, wasn't it, for Danny Mills? He had Backer on his right-hand side, also Lee Boyer waiting for a little ball. He decided to come inside, elected to shoot with his left foot, but really that was over-ambitious. Lacking power, not a problem for Taffarel.
Clearance by Capone, the Brazilian. Ralaby wins it back. Well, he did well to win it, but inadvertently played it straight to Hakan Suker. Player's gone on, and Bridges caught offside. Leeds have won all 5 home games in the UEFA Cup this season, and before tonight they'd only conceded 1 goal in those 5. Kewell loses out to Suat. And Leeds get a free kick. Sloppiness that is costing Leeds dearly at the moment, and Woodgate almost commits another error. Sloppiness or tiredness, I wonder. This, remember, Leeds United's 50th game of the season, and their most important. Okan, it's a good ball. Capone. Hakan Suker is a real class act, leading the Galatasaray attack. Actually couldn't keep that in.
Well, undoubtedly, Alan, the 6 games that Leeds have lost prior tonight has an effect on players. Just looking at 1 or 2, I've already mentioned Jonathan Woodgate. Ian Hart also looks very, very nervous in possession of the ball. And that's always a sign, you know, when confidence is lacking. Do you want the ball? how do you receive it, how do you pass it? They're not passing it at all well. That's the difference from 6-8 weeks ago. They were so confident in possession of the ball, but even 5-yard passes now started to become difficult for Leeds players.
Taking no risks, as you'd expect of a player who's seen it all, done it all. Had a season in English football, of course, with Tottenham Hotspur, Giuseppe Popescu. And again, Leeds give possession back. Woodgate's got to be careful with challenges like that. And now Suat claiming to the referee that he was whacked in the face. I have to say, the referee doesn't fill you with confidence about being able to handle things here if the tempers get a little frayed. Leeds have a corner.
Well, once again, Galatasaray don't put anybody on the near post nor the far post. They leave one up, Hadji, everybody else back defending.
What a save by the Brazilian Tafarel.
That was a superb save. I thought from the moment Ian Hart headed this ball, I thought it was destined for the back of the net. That's a fantastic save.
And Tafarel gets there again in the crowd. Well, huge encouragement in one respect for Leeds United tonight. They have scored one goal from a corner and almost another. Galatasaray don't look happy from set pieces. By Boulen, the referee lets it go with Leeds in possession. Mills, Bakker, Mills again, good ball, Bakker's there, can he finish? Comes back out to Hart. Turned on by McPhail, unfortunately Bridges just offside, but another near miss.
Certainly was. It was a great forward run from Bakker, playing with terrific energy. Delightful little ball from Danny Mills. He takes it on his chest, swivels on his right foot, and once again, great save from Tafarel. On this occasion, he doesn't use his hand. This time it's a brilliant save with his hand, but the shot from Bakker was saved with his right leg.
With a towering clearance, Wilcox just unable to control. Capone, the Brazilian, lets it go out of play. And spent a bit of time in the Japanese league, Capone, before moving into Turkish football. And it was his goal in the first leg that really gave a probably unfair reflection of the first match in Istanbul. I thought Leeds played particularly well in the second half that night and were unlucky not to get at least one goal back themselves.
They're having problems, aren't they, with Hakan Sukur? Every time it goes into a forward area, he's such a huge figure, must be what, 6'4", and he uses it well. Gets his body in front of players, holds them off well. And what he's done there is he's forced a free kick, and it brings Hadji into the game.
Arif, Woodgate just did well to get there ahead of him. Hadji again. The whistle, which has indicated another free kick.
Well, that's the first time in the first 32 minutes we've seen Hadji venture from this left-hand side. We all thought that he would play in behind the front two, where he can use the space to great benefit. But it's the first time he's got in there. He's won himself a free kick. And you can bet what he's going to try here. All at 30 yards, he'll be going for goal.
Leeds, he didn't have his sights set correctly this time. Well, a huge game at the Valley. Charlton against Portsmouth tomorrow. But back here at Ellen Road, Galatasaray threatening again. Arif, well placed. Nigel Martin was too. Lewis did well there. Pascu's clearance. Have a little skill from Emre. Okan. Got to be careful here, Mills. Hadji's right behind him.
What he does, Alan, is that Hadji's not going to put much pressure on the ball. He allowed Mills to go back to retrieve the ball.
Boulet with the through ball that almost caused Leeds a problem. They pulled out of position momentarily. Hart with the long ball. Finds Kuehl. He was certainly nudged in the back then. The referee was in any doubt. 2,000 Yorkshiremen just informed him then that that was handball.
That's what they're going to do more often, Alan. Keep getting that ball out to Jason Wilcox. I think that's their best hope of getting in. On the right-hand side, Lee Boyer plays rather narrow. I've already said Danny Mills can't get forward because of Hadji's presence. But Jason Wilcox, with his thrusting runs down the left-hand side, has already caused problems. I think he's a good outlet for them.
Will Galatasaray be susceptible again to a lead set piece? Couldn't reach it. Comes out to Mills. Could have gone anywhere. And a good turn by Bridges. Deflected for a corner. Minutes to half-time. What a wonderful moment this would be for Leeds to get a second. Well, he was all over the place there, Tafarel. Fortune was on the Brazilian side then.
Well, certainly Jason Wilcox has put in some excellent crosses. That was a difficult one to deal with. Swinging in towards the keeper, plenty of pace on it. Just needed the nearest of touches. And I think it was Harry Kuehl who almost obliged.
Mills has given it away. Hadji. Oh, it's a great run by Hadji. Danger here for Leeds. Terrific back heeler. Well, that was reminiscent of that fantastic moment of skill at Old Trafford last night, which brought Real Madrid a goal.
Great skill, wasn't it, from Hadji? Goes past Danny Mills far too easily. Woodgate comes to close him down and just beats him with a lovely back flick. Sheer class. It really, well, it's just slightly too hard, otherwise that could have been the second goal for Galatasaray. But there's the warning. If you allow Hadji that much space, he's going to punish you. But Leeds are causing themselves problems, Alan, by poor clearances. That's the second occasion now they haven't cleared well. The first one, it fell to Emery. He quickly gave the ball to Hakan Sukar, and that's where the first goal came from. On this occasion, Danny Mills was the culprit. An easy clearance, should have got distance, but played it straight to Hadji.
Ball spotted there by the referee. Okan the culprit. Jonathan Woodgate making his way forward.
There's also Radeby, just delaying it. Whilst Radeby takes up a forward position, they've got to get all their big players forward, because every time they look eerily, they cause problems.
Gone against Harry Kuehl there. Well, just going back to tomorrow afternoon's big game rather. Charlton against Portsmouth. You can see that on Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra. Charlton hoping against hope they finally get the points for promotion. And what a huge game at Goodison tomorrow evening. Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. Everton against Liverpool. Turned into trouble then. Arif, Hadji and Hakan Suker in support. Here is Hadji. And again Arif. Arif claiming that Mills blocked him, going on to the return ball from Hadji then. The referee's awarded a goal kick. Short of a place in the Champions League next season, incidentally. They can't be overtaken for third place in their own league, in which they're battling for another title. And if they get it, it would be a record for the Turkish league. They're currently on 13 championships alongside Fenerbahce. They're also in the Turkish Cup final, so a couple of routes remain open into Europe for them. And Leeds United, of course, most certainly haven't given up hope of getting back into the top three and assuring a Champions League place for them next season, which has been David O'Leary's real target all along. A late challenge there that the referee has surely got to deal with. What Hart was the sinned against rather than the sinner then. Now, to call the reaction theatrical is an understatement. Let's hope the referee saw it the same way.
Yes, I think my reading of that, Alan, is that Okan realises that he's the guilty party. He's trying to change the referee's opinion by rolling on the floor. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with him.
And certainly the Leeds fans would seem to agree with you from their reaction. There's a free kick to Leeds. Woodgate just got a touch. Was that handball? It was a decent claim momentarily, but now Mills has got a problem. Leeds getting stretched again here. Hadji went down, claiming he was tripped. It's a difficult night for the referee. Even a really experienced European referee would find this game hard to control, but a very inexperienced one, well, I'm not sure about him sometimes.
Just for your information, Alan, Okan is back on the field. His recovery took 15 seconds.
Now, could the recovery for Leeds in this first half take another chapter? Sadly, no. And Madavi's outpaced here, and Hakan Suker's in a great position. And still, oh dear, what a blow for Leeds United just before half-time. What a terrific goal, you have to say, by Hakan Suker. But Leeds, who started the first half in awful fashion, have ended it likewise.
Well, Hakan Suker is a world-class striker, and this is world-class finishing. Leeds have got the opportunity to clear. Danny Mills goes to the ground too easily. Woodgate's got to get tighter, try and get a block in on Hakan Suker. He comes inside him, he's too far off him, allows him to get the shot in. Can't fault Nigel Martin, absolutely no chance for this shot. He takes it superbly, but you do feel that the two Leeds defenders had the opportunity of doing better, and really, once again, a mountain to climb now for Leeds.
just when it seemed Leeds. There's a red card. I was just about to say, when it seemed that things were getting better for Leeds, it's gone worse, and it's now become worse still. I think it's Kuhl that he's shown the red card to. This referee makes things very difficult for himself. He's not decisive, but it certainly is Kuhl who's been dismissed. Can it get any worse?
Well, undoubtedly there's an incident off the ball. Let's just have a little look at it.
Well, he did nothing wrong there.
Alan, there's no contact there. The referee thinks he's made contact. He's issued the red card. Once again, we've seen play acting from a Turkish player, and he's got Harry Kuhl sent off.
Well, you wonder what the linesman was doing at that moment as well. He must have had, surely, at least as good a view, if not a better one, than the referee. And he has allowed an injustice to be carried out.
Well, the referee stood for the old 5-card trick, hasn't he? That's a disgrace, really is.
I've got to say, I think he's a poor referee at this level.
I think you'll find once again, Alan, there's not a lot of contact here.
And Fatih Terim, the coach of Galatasaray, has dragged his player off the pitch.
Let's have a look. Lee Boyer's gone up in the air, he's gone to the floor. There's no difference between that and what Harry Kuhl was sent off for. 2 red cards, in my opinion, both totally wrong.
And somehow in the scramble, Bakker comes out with the ball.
Well, my fears prior to the game have been confirmed, Alan. The referee, too young, too inexperienced. This was always going to be a really highly pressurised game. And UEFA have made a massive error appointing this lad. He's not up to it.
If there's any justice, however, you have to say Emre, if you remember, was the player causing all the problems early on with a little bit of play acting and diving in.
Yes, that's after from the first leg in Galatasaray.
Those who live by the sword, etc. Now he's gone off. So too has Harry Kuhl. So at least we've got parity in that sense. 10 men aside. And somehow you get the feeling that it might not end up that way. Good clearance by Hadji. A sublime layoff by Hakan Suker. I call him a class act, and he's shown it so often here in the first half. And the week may have been full of disappointment so far for English clubs. It's also been full of drama. European football at this level always produces a story. And I think the lads in the studio have got a fairly long list of things to discuss during half-time.
Well, this tie, we always thought could boil over, Alan, but some of the things we've seen this first half have been unsatisfactory. Far too much play acting, lack of discipline from both sides. We've seen both teams reduced to 10 men. I think the loss to Leeds of Harry Kuhl is a massive loss.
That's the end of an eventful first half at Ellen Road, and the inescapable fact, I'm afraid, is that on aggregate Leeds United now find themselves 4-1 adrift here. The referee's handling of that first half, questionable. 2 red cards, so many talking points, but at half-time Leeds are well adrift.
So we won't hang about. Gary McAllister and Graham Souness waiting to get stuck into that 2-1 Galatasaray on the night, 4-1 on aggregate.